At Ritual, we know what goes into the holiday season. The potluck planning, the gift giving, the spreadsheets. So this new year, take a moment for yourself with science-backed support that puts you first. So whether you're focusing on supporting foundational health with a clean vegan multivitamin or supporting your gut health with Symbiotic Plus, do it with 30% off your first month at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy-fi series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
From California, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network.
Oh, it's great to be out here again, isn't it?
Wonderful. And is that our theme?
Is that going to serve as a theme?
No, Pierre.
No. A lot of people tune in. I know a lot of the ships at sea tune in for the theme.
Well, they tune in mostly for the fish reports.
I know, but they get the theme first, and that tells them that they're on the right channel.
I'd like to take time out right now for those fishermen who are at sea and give them a little listing on the prices, I suppose. What was that ship? The Rita B arrived with 30,000 redfish, 60,000 cod, 50,000 lemon sole, and 1 smelt.
And
which isn't a bad record.
Won't have the prices on those for some time.
Not a bad average when you think of it.
I like to be at sea again.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about being at sea. I
spent a good deal of my early life at sea, you know.
Oh, that's over. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of those fish reports...
Leslie Webster, ladies and gentlemen, you listen to.
I would like to say that back many years ago, I had a hard time scratching to get by. And Bob and Ray put me in front of a microphone on their program.
Oh, come on now, Webb. I think I know what you're leading up to.
Really, great things began to happen for me.
Well, look, you deserve everything, really.
Well, I don't know.
Can't sit here and take credit for everything.
I can't even deny that it would have happened if I hadn't come on the show. I don't know. All I know is...
Well, probably wouldn't have.
The time I came onto your program, I had a wonderful... My career just flourished.
Well, what do you mean, actually? Can you pinpoint this a little bit so people will know you're not...
Well, Bob, just now this season, I'm booked in for many organ recitals at railroad terminals and stations.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Going up to Boston to give a recital at the Kenmore Square station or the subway station.
Yeah.
And, let's see, I'm going to entertain at the far end of Far Rockaway subway.
Well, that certainly sounds like you're pretty heavily booked up.
So far, on the Canal Street House Hotel?
The Canal Street IRT stop?
Oh, no, you don't have to translate for me, Bob. People know what I'm saying.
Well, it was a little muffled there, I think.
Oh, but I just want to acknowledge this. And as you see, both you and Ray, your eyes are swimming in tears.
What?
I say your eyes are swimming in tears.
No, we're not really crying.
I think it's only fair to acknowledge this so
you
all
get paid
America.
for these appearances. I was just thinking out loud. You're being paid for these things.
Well,
I mean, you're getting a fee for performing, is that right?
yeah.
As a result of having been heard here. Ray, I think we ought to bring out the Form 3 for Webb to sign, aren't you? 10% clause thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because it certainly would protect you, Webb, about in accepting these dates, you see.
Yes, sir.
And it would show us that you really appreciate what we've done for you.
Right, sir. Right here, sign.
Sign right to it.
Where it says idiot.
Yeah. Webster. Good. Will you get that right over to the office, Wilbur Conley?
Yeah.
Wilbur Conley is the young square who works for us and takes contracts of this sort over to our office.
You want me now to entertain briefly?
I think probably it'd be very appropriate if you played a selection.
All right, then here I am at the huge Bob and Ray Time Organ. And I'm about to play the ever-popular Jellyfish.
Lovely said he's about to play.
Oh, I know what
all
I'm
right.
saying.
Go ahead and play. Lovely Webster.
Webb, there's a phone for you out in my lobby.
Webb, can you get the call now and come back some night, maybe later in the week? A great start to Jealousy, and we're certainly looking forward to hearing the entire rendition sometime.
So long.
He's never made any records, has he?
No. Poor fella.
I'd like to hear what he'd sound like on a Stereo 1 portable by Columbia.
Hey, now there is a new sound of pleasure you're speaking of. And this is for everyone listening, too. A real wonderful sound of pleasure in your home, and a kind of a brand new kind of fun, too.
Well, only Columbia gives you a big 6-speaker stereo portable phonograph with all the rich tone and range of big console models. And it's only $139.95.
What? How much?
$139.95.
Wow. Columbia has a wide selection of these portable phonographs, too, and they're all flawlessly engineered by CBS Electronics. And they play any and all records, 45, 78s, and the new LP and stereo records, too. And you can't play them better with true big sound.
You just can't buy a better portable than a Stereo 1 portable phonograph by Columbia. You can't find a better buy either. Portable prices start as low as $39.95.
Christmas, you know, is the time to give your youngsters a gift they'll get fun and pleasure from all through the year. Time to give them a Stereo 1 portable phonograph by Columbia. Number one in the wonderful world of sound.
Now, some travel information. We've never been to Russia, so we don't claim to be experts on the country, actually.
But we do, both Bob and myself, have a good deal of common sense.
And that counts for a lot.
Right. Anyhow, we've assembled a few travel tips, and we're going to pass them along to those of you who intend to visit Russia this year.
Everybody else has been doing it, it seems, so we thought we should, too.
Now, first, a few pre-trip suggestions. You'll need to get a passport, as this is a time-consuming process. Once you have your passport, don't be irresponsible with it. That is, don't give it away before you go on your trip.
And you'll have to be inoculated before you leave the United States. We'd advise vacationers to see doctors where inoculations are concerned. because doctors do many things well, and inoculating people is one of the things they do well.
That's right. A good many of you will probably want to use luggage to pack your things in. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing. Indeed, several of you may find it a boon.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't take money along on the trip either. Many people do. They seem to have much better time than those who don't take any money along.
And that's about all you need to know to get you safely out of this country.
Now, this is your first trip to Russia, and you're going by plane. You'll be spending some time over the Atlantic Ocean. Moreover, as a first-time visitor to Russia, don't expect to be met by friends when your plane lands.
See, Russia has a population of about 200 million people. You will not be able to meet all of them.
If your first stop happens to be a busy seaport city, try not to show amazement at the huge number of boats in the harbor. It's their way of indicating that the city is a busy seaport.
And don't be angered if you see a good many communist rallies in the streets. They're very popular in Russia.
If you're confused about currency when making a purchase of any kind, to stay on the safe side, pay in gold.
If you don't speak Russian and you're lost, don't be ashamed to admit that you're lost. The important thing is to find someone to admit it to.
Now, the Russians are extremely curious about Americans, and they'll all want to know how you live. You should have X-rays to show them.
American tourists are wearing colorful sports shirts. We'll find that the average Russian laughs very easily.
Most Russians are very fond of the ballet. They're inclined to boast in a very pardonable way that their ballet companies are superior to the ones in our country. So be a good tourist and listen politely, but you might good-naturedly point out to them that the Bolshoi Ballet Company in our country is probably equal to any of theirs.
And Russian kids are pretty much like our own. They do pretty much the same things our kids do, with one exception. Because there are so few cars in Russia, little old ladies can be seen crossing the streets alone.
I think you can all go now and keep these tips in mind.
If you take a camping trip while you're in Russia, make sure the cigarette you've discarded is still lit. Forest fires cost them millions last year.
I think maybe we should wind this up with a little Russian language lesson, shouldn't we? Do we have a phrase that we could use?
Yeah, I think we do.
Доброе утро. Здравствуйте. Добрый вечер. Спокойной ночи.
Sure. What did he say? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night, I think.
So that pretty well covers that, huh?
So those of you who are making a recording of this broadcast, remember, you must have the consent of the American League to do it.
I think we ought to say something good right here about Art Linkletter's house party. Don't you agree?
Say what about it?
Something nice about it?
Oh, well, of course. Where will I find the nice thing I'm supposed to say? Oh, yes. Folks, CBS Radio's house party is one of those big, happy jamborees, jam-packed with laugh-a-minute stunts and rollicking games. It's a funsy time. You're to laugh out of your day.
I'm not sure we should say anything that good. Why don't we just remind the folks of all the stunts like bobbing for pimentos and things. They'll enjoy hearing. You know.
And, well, how about Art spin the tail on the donkey game?
Well, that doesn't sound like too much fun on a radio show.
Art uses a real donkey, you know.
And I like those conundrums he brings, too. Remember the one a couple of days back, what's black and white and red all over?
Boy, that is a real stumper.
That's not all. And it's got 3 lavender legs.
Do you think the folks get the picture by now, how entertaining house party is?
Well, probably not. But they might listen in anyway and prove it to themselves, huh?
In case it slips your mind, that's House Party with Art Linkletter, weekdays on CBS Radio.
Wally Ballou has taken his portable news-gathering microphone to a, what is this, a butler's?
I don't know, some kind of a
bell cord factory?
Yes, I think that's what it is. Fortunately, it's in nearby northern Pennsylvania. Wally Ballou is standing by live now, so come in, please, wherever you are.
Here by northern Pennsylvania, where the gentleman standing next to me, H. Wallace Belair, is the manufacturer of pull cords for butlers. To attract their attention, I guess, Mr. Belair, is the big reason for the velvet rope. Is that right?
I'll speak right into this same microphone.
I'll hold it for you.
All right. Yes, Mr. Ballou, it's the son of the butler who is located in the kitchen or in the butler's pantry.
Well, you told me...
the butler's pantry?
No, I knew the doctor's buggy.
He sure is.
Tell me this, there are a lot of people these days who don't have butlers in their employ, but you told me that they are still purchasing the velvet ropes to signal a butler.
Well, I tell you who's buying them. They're principally decorators, and they're putting them in homes that they've been hired to decorate, or commissioned to decorate.
Kind of a touch of ostentatiousness there.
Yes, a lot of people nowadays like to bring back a little bit of the old days. That is the wealth of the old. Ostentatiousness, as you mentioned, is a good word.
Opulence. I say opulence of the old days.
I'm ignoring it.
Oh.
And that's the principle.
Could I try one of these full chords here and see what
Only if
happens?
you hurry.
Right, I know our time is limited. I'm going to...
Oh, golly gee, I'm afraid Wally pulled the cord right out of the amplifier there. But friends, we'll have some words to live by in just 10 seconds. Now then, here is Bob with some words to live by.
Thank you, Ray. You'll be much better liked if you're a nice guy than if you're an awful person.
So tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
Whispering Streets impart dramatic secrets tomorrow on the CBS Radio Network.
This is Lieutenant Colonel Thomas of the Army Personnel Procurement Program throughout Southern California. I am pleased to congratulate KNX for their public service participation in our program through the past year.
Allen Revival Big Time.
Informed of the opportunities available to them through training and travel.
To the White County
Hot rod racers with
Hunter as your shop. Getting so intense. All the morning glories on the fence. Because it's you.
That's Winston.
Late news from Cockney Central on the George Church Pacific.
Switch on the motor. Still complete.
Wear it off.
County Fair's new.
Nelson Mackinnon Show to stimulate your thinking.
The raisin bread is full of plump meat.
Choose your turn when you ask for the dough.
And admit. This is Charles Woods in the ABC Radio Newsroom, bringing you in the afternoon.
Temperatures are moderating. We'll hope in the steel dispute. The settlement pattern may have been established by contracts the
Sellers Restaurant in Sherman Oaks last Wednesday night before onlooker Mickey Cohen. KLAC News Chief James McNamara was among the first to report the rumored confession of Los Signo and the first to flash the confirmation by Los Angeles Police Chief William H. Parker. Also turning himself over to police was Joe DeClaro.
Isn't it wonderful? What a sick city, when people compliment cloudy skies and wet streets. Henry Bracken with words and music, news and information from now until 10, breaking into the scale of the bites. Scale of the bites.